We've all seen how manic the airports have been in the lead up to this Easter long weekend, and the pain hasn't stopped there for some families, with rental cars either impossible to find or unaffordable.
What do you think of the prices?
Well, shocking.
It's around $1,000
For 3 days?
for 3 days.
Wow.
Hire cars have never been more expensive.
Forget paying a fortune for accommodation. You'll need to take out a mortgage just to get there.
For 4 days, we've paid $880.
For 7 days, I think it's $1,600.
Pastor Avia is in Victoria to open a church. For $1,600, he could have flown to Bali and back twice.
We thought it's quite expensive.
It certainly is, according to comparison site Finder, which has crunched the numbers for a current affair. The most expensive hire car over the Easter long weekend was at Hobart Airport at $1,600, more than double what it costs for the same dates in July. It was $1,400 in Melbourne, $500 in July. In Sydney this Easter, $1,073, $1,094 in Darwin, $700 in Canberra, Perth $899, while in Brisbane and Adelaide there was nothing available at all.
The prices we're seeing now are really out of this world.
Taylor Blackburn from Finder says there are several reasons for the hike.
One is supply and the other is demand. So on big holiday weekends, you'll see the demand high and the fleet is less and they can charge a bit more. During the pandemic, a lot of fleets were trimmed down, cars were sold off, and it's been harder to replace them, and that effect is still being felt.
This holiday period has just been berserk.
Matthew Beattie is CEO of Sixt Australia. When COVID hit, he says his fleet was deployed to frontline health workers, and while the cars are now back, they simply can't keep up with growing demand. Unfortunately,
it's a global issue. Automakers across the globe have been struggling to produce vehicles to meet the demand across the world, and Australia is no different.
If hiring a rental car is out of your budget, you can borrow one instead from car-sharing platform Car Next Door.
It's essentially the same concept as Airbnb. If someone's got a house or a unit they're not using, and they'll let it out on this online app for a day or two.
Dion Orizak is using this SUV to take his family on a road trip.
Pricing works out to be about $10 an hour, depending on what vehicle you're choosing. But if you're hiring it by the day, you might pay $60 to $80 per day.
But if you do need a hire car, Taylor says you can keep costs down by avoiding those added extras.
Returning your car half full of petrol to the airport is a really good way to add on a bunch of extra cost unnecessarily. If you can spend 5 minutes filling up before you get back, you won't believe how much it'll save you in the end.
It's a holiday, so, you know.
A very expensive one.
It is.
Our estimation is once we get more vehicles on shore, then supply and demand will become more in balance. And what typically happens in those scenarios is that prices do reduce.
You can read the rental car company's full statements on our homepage.